From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, I'm Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Monday, April 17th. Pretty miserable start, and the rest of the day is not going to get much better. Some scattered showers and even a few snow showers sprinkled in the first half of the day, mostly in this morning hour. Accumulation isn't expected as far as that snow. The ground is a little too warm for that at this point in the year, but still, it's snowing out there in parts. The highs are going to get into the mid-40s with some wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. Indianapolis firefighters say a person is dead and several more are injured after an apartment fire this morning. It started around 4:30 at the Highland Point Apartments on Michigan Road. So far, we don't know what caused the fire, but we do know, yes, one person did die. Several people are displaced from that apartment fire. And there was another one happening, too, around the same time, this one in Carmel. Carmel Fire Department says that it happened at Timber Creek Drive near City Center Drive and Guilford Road, the Timber Creek Apartments. Carmel Fire says there were no injuries and everyone is accounted for, but several people are displaced because of heavy damage. Also, no word yet on the cause of this one. A days-long evacuation order is now lifted in Richmond. City and health officials determined air quality and other environmental concerns related to the massive recycling plant fire are safe. The EPA will still be testing air debris, and firefighters will remain at the site to extinguish any flare-ups. Wayne County Emergency Management says it lifted the evacuation order after talking with state, federal, and local health officials. The evacuation zone covered people living within a half mile of the plant. Mayor David Snow says at least 1,500 people lived there, but it's unknown how many actually obeyed the call to leave after the fire began last Tuesday. The Wayne County Health Department says it is confident people will be safe moving back to their homes.
We've been repeatedly testing the air in the area around the site, and all of the chemicals that we tested for have been non-detectable except for 3, benzene, naphthalene, and butadiene, and these are in small levels. Fire Chief Tim Brown reports that there's no particular matter anymore coming up from the site, and there will be no detectable chemicals of any kind in the air. And I feel very confident that people will be safe when they move back to their homes.
Mayor Snow says the county put together cleaning kits for people to use when they return home. The health department is encouraging neighbors there to clean high-touch surfaces and is providing guidance on how to air the homes out that were filled with smoke. For additional resources, there is a 24-hour helpline to call. All Richmond schools will stay closed out of an abundance of caution for students and staff. The district shared the update on social media yesterday. Officials have made sure the HVAC systems are filtering out any particles that remain from the fire. The EPA has also been on hand to help with cleanup efforts at every school. Frankfort police have identified 8 people killed in a crash in Mexico. According to a Facebook post from the police department, 2 of the victims were students at Frankfort High School. The post says Jocelyn and Jesus Garcia, their father Guadalupe, and relatives Fernando Garcia and Jesus Angeles died in the crash. Police say Bianca Guzman and her 1-month-old baby Gabriel were also killed in the wreck. At this point, not much is known about the crash. The school district says grief counselors will be available for anyone who needs them today. A woman is in critical condition and another injured after an apartment fire on the west side. Fire officials say an oxygen canister exploded inside a unit at Cedar Commons Apartments around 8:30 last night. That's on Harcourt Road near West 79th Street. The fire spread and critically injured a woman living in a neighboring apartment. The woman in the unit where the explosion happened escaped with minor injuries. 4 people are displaced. There's no word yet on why the canister exploded. IMPD says a child is dead after accidentally shooting themselves. It happened around 1 yesterday afternoon at a home on John Jay Drive near East 38th Street. Police say the child was taken to Riley Hospital for Children in critical condition where the child died. We don't know that child's age or how they got the gun. IMPD is urging people to keep guns locked up and away from kids. Police say the shooting was an accident and no one is under arrest. 2 people are dead and 4 others injured after a weekend of shootings. Another fatal shooting happened around 3 Sunday morning where police say a man died near 38th and Franklin Road. All of the other people who were shot walked into hospitals over the weekend. The most recent was around 3:30 yesterday morning at Community East Hospital. That person is stable. At 2 o'clock Sunday morning, another person walked into Eskenazi, no word on their condition. And just after midnight Sunday, someone else walked into IU Methodist downtown. At last check, they are stable. Finally, around 8:30 Saturday night, the sixth victim walked into Community Hospital North. Today, work begins on a massive tech development in Boone County. IT Made has uncovered the annexation of more than 5,000 acres in Lebanon for the Lily Leap Industrial Park project. The park is going up west of I-65 near County Road 150 West and County Road 375 North. Farmers have voiced concerns to city leaders about increased traffic and potential difficulties moving large equipment. The mayor has said the project's good for tax growth. Lilly plans to invest $2.1 billion for 2 manufacturing sites. Governor Holcomb and Lilly leaders will be at the site at 10 this morning for a ceremony. Facilities are set to open by 2026. Conservation officers are searching for 2 IU students missing at Lake Monroe. Happened Saturday afternoon. The DNR says Siddhant Shah and Aryan Vadia were on a pontoon with friends when they decided to anchor the boat and go for a swim. Officials say the pair went under the water and never came back up. First responders used sonar technology to search the lake this weekend. No word yet when the search could resume. Kroger says it's ready to re-inspect its stores in Speedway. Several sections are shut down over mice droppings. A Kroger spokesperson says the Marion County Health Department is set to visit the store again on Thursday. The health department says it received the first complaint last Thursday. It says it found mice droppings in several areas, so it shut down the bakery, deli, and 3 aisles. Kroger says it has thoroughly cleaned and disinfected areas. The rest of the store remains open. Protests broke out across the nation this weekend after the U.S. Supreme Court pressed pause on a lower court's ruling last week. As we've reported, a federal judge in Texas wants to restrict access to an abortion drug. John Lawrence breaks down how soon we could know if the Supreme Court can make a decision.
Are we going to back down?
Numerous abortion rights rallies were held over the weekend, including in Washington, D.C.
Extreme anti-abortion judges are attempting to steal our bodily autonomy.
And Los Angeles, where Vice President Kamala Harris made a surprise appearance.
When you attack the rights of women in America, you are attacking America.
These protests come days after a Texas judge suspended the FDA's decades-old approval of the abortion pill mifepristone.
Kind of assertion that the principal basis of the court case in Texas was about the safety. And I think specifically it said that it was supposed to, the accelerated pathway was supposed to approve a drug to treat an illness. It is a stretch to call a pregnancy an illness.
Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito extending a lower court's hold on the ruling at least until Wednesday night to allow the justices to fully examine the issue. In the meantime, sides remain drawn.
In my state, we are a pro-life state. We have legislation which is far more pro-life than it is in, say, California. But the Californians keep their law and we keep our law, and that's the way it's going to work out nationally.
If any Republican thinks that voters have simmered down on the abortion issue, they are wrong. It's going to that is going to continue well into the next presidential race.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Today, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy will talk about the economy in a speech to the New York Stock Exchange. He's also expected to outline how Republicans plan to raise the debt ceiling for a year. Sources tell CNN that McCarthy will propose a return to fiscal year 2022 spending levels at some government agencies. The proposal will also limit growth to 1% in those agencies over the next decade. Republicans are also expected to propose rescinding any unspent COVID-19 relief funds, saving up to $60 billion. They plan to take action in the next few weeks. 4 people are dead after a mass shooting at a Sweet 16 birthday party in Alabama. Police say 28 other people are injured, some critically, after Saturday night's shooting. It happened around 10:30 in Dadeville, about 60 miles northeast of Montgomery. No information on what led up to the shooting or a possible suspect has been released. To business headlines, the Social Security cost of living adjustment could be much smaller next year. Social Security benefits could increase by just 3% or less in 2024 as inflation fades. Recipients saw an 8.7% bump this year, the highest in decades. Regional banks report earnings this week and may say they are paying depositors more to keep them. Small and mid-sized U.S. banks lost hundreds of billions of dollars in recent weeks to their bigger peers and to money market funds offering higher yields. Fifth Third and First Financial report Thursday and Friday. The 3 most used credit rating agencies have removed medical debt under $500 from consumer credit reports, potentially boosting some Americans' credit scores. Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion announced the move this week. The U.S. government is testing 4 potential bird flu vaccines for poultry after more than 58 million chickens, turkeys, and other birds have died in the nation's worst outbreak ever. If the trials are successful and USDA decides to continue development, it would take at least 18 to 24 months for a vaccine that matches the current virus to be commercially available. Kroger this week begins accepting Apple Pay and other contactless payment methods at select locations in Kentucky and Ohio, allowing customers to tap to pay with an iPhone or Apple Watch at checkout. That's according to customers on Twitter and Reddit. Kroger was one of the largest Apple Pay holdouts in the U.S. since the service launched in 2014. And a Colts watch, the NFL draft is just 10 days away, and we're finally getting to hear from Colts owner Jim Irsay on what the team might do with its 4th overall pick. Irsay tweeted this: the Colts, quote, could stay put and take a quarterback, or trade up and take a quarterback, or trade down and maybe take a quarterback, or not. All options are on the table, but we like our position and are very excited. He also included pictures of 4 quarterbacks that a lot of people are talking about: Anthony Richardson, C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, and Will Levis. The draft is set for next Thursday, April 27th. NASCAR driver Kyle Larson overcame a history of struggles to win at the iconic Martinsville Speedway. Larson has raced there 17 times, coming up with just 3 top 5 finishes. He passed Joey Logano with 29 laps to go to win his 2nd race of the year. The next race in the NASCAR Cup Series is next Sunday at the Talladega Superspeedway. And IndyCar is celebrating a first-time winner this morning. Kyle Kirkwood held off teammate Roman Grosjean to win the most prestigious street course race in the U.S. He also started on the pole for the first time in his IndyCar career on the downtown streets of Long Beach, California. During the race, several top drivers like Helio Castroneves, Scott Dixon, and Pato O'Ward all got into crashes. Drivers are back for the next race on April 30th at the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.